Europe does it again and again. This time it's hello, fellow traders everywhere. Adam Hewison here, co-founder of MarketClub with your midday market update for Monday, the 19th of December. European Central Bank President Mario Draghi admission over the weekend that the euro could fall apart may have come as a shock to many, but not to MarketClub members nor to our trade triangle indicators. The banks get whacked again. Has anything really changed on that front? We'll be looking at three stocks that have strong upward trends. Yes, there are some bull markets out there, and we'll be looking at those. And also we're looking at three stocks that are having big moves today, but not in the right direction. Now let's go to the one truth we count on every day here at MarketClub, and that is our trade triangle technology. So here we are at my homepage. You can see quite clearly Adam Hewison, and you can see it's showing a chart here of the silvers, the iShares Silver Trust, SLV, down 0.76. Not a good move, not great action there. But let's go to the markets we look at first of all, and then is our portfolio. But before we do that, you also have access as a Market Club member, if you don't already know this, to three powerful, easy-to-use portfolios. We can give you the signals every day on these markets. That's our Global Strategy ETF portfolio and our Perfect ETF portfolio. These are both ETF portfolios. And the third one, the World Cup portfolio, is a futures portfolio, which gives you a lot of leverage, and it's pretty exciting. It's had some great results. So let's go to our first market, and then we're going to go to our portfolio manager, and that's going to be the S&P 500. You can see a minus 75, and we know automatically that's an emerging trend. We're down about 0.65% in this market right now, and if we go to the chart, you'll see how this is shaping up. Not such a great shape for this market right now if we close down here, especially if we can close below this level right here, the 1211.82 or 1211.80, so we're right around that level right now. But if we put in our Fibonacci tool in our retracement, we're looking for this market. Now you must have this little yellow box in the top left hand corner that makes sure the tool is active. And you click here, drag it down, and you can see right away we're looking for the 1200 level to be a target zone with a 61.8% retracement. Now it may not get there because we're right at the 50% retracement level now, but generally speaking, the way the market's shaping up, it doesn't look that positive, especially with the minus 75. So let's see how that plays out for the rest of the day, but the longer term monthly trade triangle and daily are negative right now. And also if we scope this down even further, you'll see the Williams percentile is now getting into an oversold territory, so we may be accelerating the downside, and also the MACD is also showing negative signs as well. So let's go to our next market, and we can do that two ways. We can either go back, toggle back and forth here, and let's do the first one. Next one is going to be silver, and you can see the action in silver is sort of not so great. We're got a minus 100 on our trade triangles, indicating a stronger downtrend, and that could possibly accelerate during the week. It's a very quiet week this week. Obviously, it's holiday week, and it's Christmas on Sunday, I believe, and the markets will get thinner and thinner. We call this silly season because the markets do get thin, and they're subject to some big swings both ways. So one should be careful during this time period. We can go to our portfolio once again, just like right here. And we're looking at gold. Now, gold's a little bit different. It's a minus 55, indicating a trading range. You see silver's minus 70, strong downtrend, minus 55 on the gold, which means it's a trading range. Longer term in the gold market, we have that as a positive. We see the longer term as positive from 1430. We've sort of had the last 4 or 5 days here just sort of going sideways. We indicated at these levels down towards the 1530, 1520 level. There's a long-term positive force line, bullish support line coming in, and that may have stopped this market going down for the most part. But I'd like to see this market consolidate a little before getting super enthusiastic on the long side. Also, your MACD is beginning to flatten out. You can see that right here. And I'd like to give that market some more time. I'd also like to see the weekly, and this is the one I'm waiting for right now, get into a positive mode. Now, that may take us into the new year before that actually happens. But pay attention to gold. It's going to have some great implications in 2012, in my opinion. So let's go to our next market. The next market we're looking at is the copper market. As you can see, copper has basically been pretty flat here for the past 5 days. really not too much going on, but certainly the 350 level, which we talked about on numerous occasions in the past, was a very key level. Now we're sort of just consolidating, but we do have a mixed picture. The weekly is up and the monthly is down, indicating a potential conflict. You also have the daily down, and you have a minus 75. A minus 75 indicates an emerging trend, and we think the emerging trend will be due to the downside. So let's go back to the markets, look at crude oil, and crude oil is also in that sort of mode. It's sort of flattened out here, indicating when you see a doji line, which means you have the opening and closing very close to the same level. It opened at 93.96. It's 94 now, so it's very close to the opening level. And it means there's an imbalance or a perfect balance between buyers and sellers. The buyers don't have enough momentum to push it up, and the sellers don't have enough momentum to push it down. So possibly seeing this market come in more of a trading range, but I think we could still see this market be more on the defensive. The weekly and the daily are negative, minus 70, emerging trend, but the only one that's positive is the longer-term monthly trade triangles, which came in right here. You can see right at this level right here, and if we take this off, you can see it came into 100.59. So that's the longer-term trend. We'll have to see how that plays out. So next market we're looking at is the dollar index. We've been very bullish on this index, and it's worked out well for us. You can see again, we're positive from the opening. We're trading at 80.28. Support seems to be around the 80 level. All of our trade triangles are positive, indicating a strong upward trend. I think we're just beginning to rest at this area to have another push up, possibly to the 81, 82 area. And this is a basket of currencies. This is not just the euro. This is a basket of about 14 currencies called the dollar index. So let's see how that plays out. But clearly the trade triangles are positive and the trend is positive. Now we can do two other things we like to do with our charts is put on our Donchian trade channels, which you can see here, and also our parabolic stop and reverse. That's the PSAR. You hear me refer to that numerous times. Now that is a trending tool. You can see here they clicked in right around here, and if we put our trade triangles in, you can see the weeklies kicked in right here at 77.67, nice trade, and the monthlies kicked in at 76.61. So again, very nice trade to the upside, nice and profitable for us. So let's go to our next market, and that's going to be, we'll miss the euro, let's skip the euros. Let's go to the Reuters Jeffries CRB index. This is the commodity index we like to look at. It's a minus 90, indicating the trend is clearly down, which is deflationary. However, we're getting down to areas that's very similar to what this area was back in October 4th, and that is the 61%, 61.8% retracement. And I'll show you how that works. So we go scope this out, and you can see the lows back here, and I put a line chart on, very simple to do with MarketClub. And let me just take this off the Donchian trade channels and also this, and just make it very, very clean, simple. And this is why this level is going to be so important, in my opinion. If we draw a trend line, a Fibonacci line from the highs, drag this down to the lows, which are right here, and you can see we're right on this level. It's 61.8% retracement. What could potentially happen here is a double bottom, and that's something to be very, very careful about, because a double bottom is just as powerful as a double top, and it often signals a reversal. So I think we have to give this market some time. However, the trade triangles are basically short from much higher levels, 335.10. We're currently trading at 329.46. And you can see the longer term, the move, we caught the move on the upside based on our trade triangles, our monthly trade triangles, and we certainly caught the move on the downside. Just a great market for trading and indicating where inflation is headed. So as we go back to our portfolio, we're going to look at the three markets that are really getting whacked. These are all bank stocks, and they all had signals today when I want to share with you. And the first one is the Genworth Financial. It's down 6.5%. And I'm going to scope this in a little closer. Let's go to the last 3 months, and let's put our candlesticks in, and let's put our weeklies in. Boom. You see how it just kicked in right here? These are automatically put in for you. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do any program. You just have to click on these little triangle links, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly, and it tells you what's happening. So if you scope over the level here, you can see it's 587. The market's 585, so it's very close to the signal right now. And it would look as though we're going to see a test of the levels back here at 540. And of course, if we go below that level, we'll be looking at these levels back here. And if we scope this out even further, which we can, let's just go a couple of years, you can see we're really under pressure. So you could certainly see this market potentially move down to 5, which is a nice move from current levels. But this is going to be a big level right here, the 540 area. And I know it's a $5 stock, but remember, this used to be a $20 stock almost, and it's just evaporated over time. And if we just take our monthlies, you can see a good idea where these monthlies kick in right here at 1202 on April 18th of 2011. Caught the majority of this move. Is half the price that we had a signal at right now. So great way to look at the market. Let's go to our next market. This is a well-known Citigroup. Citigroup's been whacked pretty good today. You can see the down move here. We put our weeklies in. Boom, just hit today. Weekly at 24.60, currently trading at 24.80, so you can actually sell it a little higher than the actual signal. But the day is not over with yet, and I would not be surprised to see this market come down and challenge the lows that we see here right around the 23.30 area, and possibly challenge these lows that we're seeing on October 4th. So I think, again, this market's looking not positive in my mind. Everything's minus 100, which means a strong downward trend. It's likely to continue, especially as we just got the signal today confirming the trend on the weekly trade triangle. So that's something to be very, very careful with and watch very closely. Next market we're going to be looking at is MS. That's Morgan Stanley. Now, we have not had a signal yet. You see, we have the green trade triangle, but it's still in minus 75, an emerging trend. It's going to be very hard, I think, for this market to continue to hold up in light of what's going on with these other markets as well. So again, if we scope this down, you can see the Williams percent R is moving down to an oversold condition. But remember, markets can remain oversold like they did here for a period of maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And we've just turned down in the MACD, or the MACD as it's called sometimes. So let's take a look at the markets. Let's say we've looked at the negative markets for the day. Let's look at some of the positive markets. And I've got 3 markets for you today that are in bull trends according to our trade triangles. And let's go to our first market, and that's Visa. And Visa is plus 100, and you can see it's a nice trend, a nice sort of consolidation right around here. Let's scope this out a little further. And what I like about Visa is the fact that it's got a nice upward trend. All of our trade triangles are in a positive mode, and you can see the sort of, I'll just draw this right on top here, just like a level here. This was resistance. Now this should be support, and it looks like it wants to push this market higher. Now, a lot's going to depend on the general market trend, but I think given the fact that it's plus 100 and all of our indicators are pointing higher, 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 it looks to me like you're going to see this market continue to do well. This, by the way, was a new 52-week high, and I think we may see this market consolidate. But if you wanted to be in a defensive position, you want to be in some stocks, maybe this is a good one to be in, because I don't think it's going to be going down anytime soon. It's got a nice base to push it higher. So let's go to our next market. Let's clean the screen off. And obviously, we've talked about this is Christmas week. The markets are going to be very, very thin, and you really want to pay attention to it. Now, here is a stock. MO is the symbol. Altera Group, it's a cigarette company, but again, it's got a very, very strong base. We have a plus 90, but you can see how this market has just built its base. It's what we call this as energy base, just sort of beginning right here, and it's just sort of beginning to make that move over the level here around 28. I could see this market going higher. The potential is for a move to go, I think, to 32, 33. Don't take that verbatim. It's just an idea where it could go, but all of our trade triangles, again, are pointing up, up, up. Plus 90 is a very strong trending market, indicating this market should have, if it pulls back to, let's say, 29, somewhere around there, should find good support, I think, right around these levels. So it's a very well-bid stock, a very big institutional stock. I think it's going to hold up well no matter what happens. So let's clear the screen. Go to our last stock that we're looking at, and we'll just go to our portfolio just to see what that is. And that's BristolMyers Squibb, BMY. It's traded on the NYSE. It's currently trading at 34.37, up 15 cents. It's up half a cent for the day, which is pretty good considering the market's down half a cent. So the spread is about 1%. So let's take a look at that chart, and you can see it's making new highs. But clearly, with our trade triangles at 29.92. We can see where that came in. Let me just get my indicators on here, and I'll show you. This is where the monthly came in right here. and you can see it's been a nice move since then. The last weekly kicked in right here, which is 31.95, and you can see the market's doing very, very well. I think this market can go still higher, and that's based on a simple trend. If we take from 30 to 33, that's $3. We take that $3, the same $3, add it to that number there, so plus 33, and that gives us 36. So I would think 36 would be a good target zone for this market, but it still should find good support, I would think, just below the 34 level. So lots going on. There's some good markets still, but get prepared for 2012. There's going to be some really great markets, and I want to tell you about them right now. If you're in the you may or may not know, but we're going to be putting on an investor summit. That's MarketClub's investor summit. It's going to be in Salt Lake City, and from January 24th, 27th, I will be there discussing the markets, showing you how to use some very conservative and somewhat more aggressive portfolios, and also how we trade the markets here at MarketClub. So if you'd like to find out more information, give us a call at 1-877-219-1482, extension 10234. If you're overseas and you're watching this, you can give us a call at 1-801-341-3981. Same extension, 10234. Hey, this is Adam Hewison. Lots going on in the markets. Let's get prepared for 2012. It's going to be a great year for those who know. And I'm excited about it, and I hope you are. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, the same place, right here at Market Club TV. Thanks for watching.